Welcome to the class of operating system. In the first class, we will discuss what is operating system, what are its various components, functions of operating system, different types of operating system, and what is its importance. So first of all, we will study what is operating system. Operating system is a program that acts as an interface between a user and the hardware. Without operating system, your computer doesn't work. It is like a box. Whenever you purchase some computer, first of thing you have to do is to install the operating system, without which you are not able to work on your computer. ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम के बिना जो आपका पीसी कंप्यूटर है दैट इज अ लाइक अ बॉक्स, एक खाली डिब्बा है जिसका कोई काम नहीं है, आपके लिए कोई यूज नहीं है। वो यूजफुल कब होगा, जब आप उसमें ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम इंस्टॉल करेंगे। ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम अपनी यूज के अकॉर्डिंग आप इंस्टॉल कर सकते हैं। इट कैन बी लाइनेक्स और विंडोज, ठीक है, विंडोज एक्स, एक्सपी 7, 8, 10, whatever operating system is required for you. If for example, जैसे विदाउट अ रेलवे ट्रैक, अगर हमने ट्रेन को चलाना है तो उसके लिए रेलवे ट्रैक जरूरी है। विदाउट अ रेलवे ट्रैक our train cannot run. In the same way, without operating system, your computer doesn't work. So first and most important thing is to install the operating system. Operating system helps to use the computer hardware in an efficient manner. जो भी उसके साथ हार्डवेयर डिवाइसेस लगे हैं, व्हाट इज हार्डवेयर डिवाइसेस, जिनको हम टच कर सकते हैं और देख भी सकते हैं, जैसे माउस, कीबोर्ड, मॉनिटर, इन सबको एफिशिएंट मैनर में यूज कौन करवाता है, दैट इज ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम. Operating system goals are to execute the user programs and make solving user programs easier. यूजर प्रोग्राम, जो हम प्रोग्राम लिख रहे हैं उसको एग्जीक्यूट करवाना, ठीक है, यूजर की प्रॉब्लम्स को इजी करना, एंड टू मेक द कंप्यूटर सिस्टम कन्वीनियंट टू यूज बाय द यूजर। जैसे कि अगर कोई भी जो भी हार्डवेयर डिवाइसेस हैं या पेरिफेरल डिवाइसेस हैं या आपके मेमोरी डिवाइसेस हैं, इन सबको कंट्रोल करेगा योर ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम. So this is operating system. Without operating system, your computer cannot do nothing. It acts as an interface between the user जो काम कर रहा है and the computer hardware जिस पे हम काम कर रहे हैं, उसमें जो इंटरफेस प्रोवाइड कर रहा है, दैट इज योर ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम. नेक्स्ट टॉपिक इज कंप्यूटर सिस्टम कंपोनेंट्स. कंपोनेंट्स कौन कौन से हैं कंप्यूटर सिस्टम से, दैट इज फर्स्ट कंपोनेंट इज हार्डवेयर, operating system, application programs, and users. Hardware, as we all know, the thing that we can see and touch: CPU, mouse, keyboard, printer, scanner, these are all hardware devices. ठीक है. Second component of computer system is operating system. Operating system is the interface between the user and the hardware, and it controls and coordinates the use of hardware among the various application programs for the various users. हार्डवेयर को कैसे एप्लीकेशन प्रोग्राम्स ने यूज करना है उसको सब कंट्रोल करेगा ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम. एंड थर्ड वन इज एप्लीकेशन प्रोग्राम्स. For example, word processor, spreadsheets, compilers, they define the way in which system resources are used to solve the computing problems of the user. अपनी एप्लीकेशन के अकॉर्डिंग जो हम प्रोग्राम बनाते हैं, दैट इज कॉल्ड एप्लीकेशन प्रोग्राम. इससे कैसे हमने सिस्टम रिसोर्सेज को यूज करना है टू सॉल्व दीज प्रॉब्लम्स, इट इज with the help of application programs. And last component is users who use the computer system, who are using the your computer system. So जो ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम है दैट इज एन इंटरफेस. दिस इज ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम, दिस इज हार्डवेयर एंड दिस इज यूजर. सो ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम इन दोनों के बीच में, यूजर एंड हार्डवेयर के बीच में क्या प्रोवाइड कर रहा है, इट प्रोवाइड्स द इंटरफेस बिटवीन द यूजर्स ऑफ योर कंप्यूटर सिस्टम एंड द हार्डवेयर ऑफ द कंप्यूटर सिस्टम. Okay, these are the computer system components. Next, what are the functions of operating system? First function, as we have already discussed, is the interface between the user and the hardware. Without operating system, your computer cannot work. So इंटरफेस प्रोवाइड करने के लिए हमें ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम इंस्टॉल करना बहुत ज़रूरी है. यूनिक्स, विंडोज, कोई भी ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम अकॉर्डिंग टू अवर रिक्वायरमेंट हम इंस्टॉल कर सकते हैं इनटू अवर पीसी. Second function of operating system is peripheral management. Peripherals are input output devices. जितने भी input output devices कंप्यूटर सिस्टम के साथ कनेक्टेड है उनको कौन कंट्रोल करता है? दिस इज योर ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम. ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम विल कंट्रोल द पेरिफेरल डिवाइसेस अटैच्ड टू योर कंप्यूटर. नेक्स्ट फंक्शन ऑफ ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम इज मेमोरी मैनेजमेंट. जो भी हमारी मेमोरी अवेलेबल है, कितनी मेमोरी किस प्रोसेस को देनी है, कितनी कौन कौन सा मेमोरी यूज्ड है, कितनी अवेलेबल है, ये सब भी कौन मैनेज करेगा? दैट इज द वर्क ऑफ योर ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम. Next function is process management. We can have large number of processes at a time. किस प्रोसेस को कब सीपीयू एलोकेट करना है, किस प्रोसेस को कौन सी स्टेट में, क्या उसका स्टेटस है. प्रोसेस की डिफरेंट स्टेट्स होती है स्टार्ट से लेके टर्मिनेट तक. तो प्रोसेस कौन से जो P1 प्रोसेस है सपोज, वो कौन सी स्टेट में पहुंची है, कितना उसने काम किया है, वेदर इट इज सक्सेसफुल और नॉट, और किस प्रोसेस को कब हमने इनपुट आउटपुट डिवाइसेस देने हैं, कब हमने उसको प्रोसेसर एलोकेट करना है. दिस इज द वर्क ऑफ योर ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम. नेक्स्ट फंक्शन ऑफ ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम इज फाइल मैनेजमेंट. जो भी हमने फाइल स्टोर कर रहे हैं उनको फाइल्स की क्या एक्सटेंशन होनी चाहिए, कौन सी टाइप की फाइल कहाँ स्टोर करनी है, कितनी मेमोरी चाहिए फाइल को, ये सारा काम भी कौन करेगा? योर ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम. any type of error that occurs in your PC, error detection and handling is also done by the operating system. Why it is giving the error, what type of error is this, how to control this error, this is the work of operating system. And last is security and failure recovery. Security प्रोवाइड करनी टू द यूजर्स कि उनका डाटा है जो वो अनऑथराइज्ड यूजर यूज ना कर सके. और इन केस ऑफ फेलियर, अगर हमारा सिस्टम फेल हो जाता है तो हम अपने डाटा को कैसे रिकवर कर सकते हैं. दिस इज ऑल्सो द वर्क ऑफ योर ऑपरेटिंग system. So these are the main functions of operating system: interface between user and hardware, peripheral management, memory management, process management, file management, error detection and handling, and security and failure recovery. Next, we will discuss the types of operating system. There can be different types of operating system depending upon the users who are using the operating system. First one is single user operating system. Second is multi-user operating system, single tasking or serial processing operating system, multitasking or multi-programming operating system, time sharing operating system, parallel systems, real-time operating system, distributed operating system, and handheld operating systems. First, we will discuss single user operating system. As from the name, we are getting the idea single user operating system to whom only single user can use at a time. Only one user can use the operating system at a time. It is dedicated to only one user. For keyboard, mouse, these are the input output devices used in this type of operating system. Level of security is low. In this type of operating system, only one user can use the system at a time. Level, it doesn't provide security. User don't cannot make their own admin panels. So level of security is low. Users cannot protect their files from being viewed, copied, or deleted. Example of single user operating system is DOS, disk operating system, and Windows 98. These are the single user operating systems. After single user, there comes multi-user operating system. Multi-user means many users can use the system simultaneously. More than one user can use the system simultaneously, and each user can have their own account. In single user operating system, level of security is less because user cannot have their own accounts. But in multi-user operating system, multiple users can have their own account. Example of multi-user operating system is Unix and Linux. Unix and Linux, these are multi-user operating systems. Next comes is single tasking or serial processing operating system. Single task means when only one task can be processed at a time, that is called single tasking or serial processing. Serial processing means if we have given one command, then that first command is to be completed before starting the second command. No other command can be given until first gets completed. This is called serial processing. Work is done in series, not in parallel. First job has to be completed, then after only we can start the next job. So this is single tasking or serial processing operating system. Next is multitasking or multi-programming operating system. Multitasking means multiple tasks from a pool of all submitted jobs are kept in main memory at the same time, and CPU is multiplexed among them. It means multiple jobs can be submitted to the CPU at the same time. CPU can select one job at a time and give the processor to that job. Multiple tasks it can be done at the same time, or it is also known as multi-programming operating system. At the same time, more than one task can be run at simultaneously. Next है why we need multi-programming to increase the CPU utilization. Because if we have single tasking operating system, then when the we need two things. अगर कोई प्रोसेस हमारे पास आ रही है, इट हैज उसको इनपुट आउटपुट डिवाइसेस भी चाहिए और सीपीयू भी चाहिए. When the process is busy in taking input output devices, then CPU is under utilization. So multi programming is done if we have more than one programs at a time. If one program is using the CPU, the other can take its input output devices. So when one completes, then the CPU is given to the other process. So this way it increases the CPU utilization by trying to always keep the CPU busy processing some job. And input of output of one job causes switch to another job. मेमोरी मैनेजमेंट के लिए भी मल्टी प्रोग्रामिंग चाहिए. द सिस्टम मस्ट एलोकेट द मेमोरी टू several jobs. CPU scheduling, the system must choose among several jobs ready to be run. एक से ज़्यादा प्रोसेसेस CPU के पास आ सकती हैं. दे कैन बी इन द रेडी पूल for taking the processor. CPU will choose only one job at a time to allocate to the processor. So CPU scheduling, it must the system choose जितनी भी रेडी क्यू में प्रोसेसेस होंगी, उसमें से एक प्रोसेस को वो चूज करके इट विल allocate CPU to that process and for allocation of devices. That's why multi programming is required. Next is time sharing operating system. Time sharing operating system is also an extension of multi programming operating system. In this, the time it allows many users to share the system simultaneously. It CPU executes multiple jobs by switching among them. Every job it has given a fixed amount of time. When that time completes, then CPU switches to another job. So in this way, CPU execute multiple jobs by switching among them. In इस इसके साथ क्या होगा कि सीपीयू है जो इट विल नॉट बी डेडिकेटेड टू वन जॉब, or the another job has not to be wait for long period of time. CPU is allocated to the process for a fixed amount of time. After that, it will switch to the second process. After for the fixed amount of time, it will process the second process. Then it will shift to the third process. So in time sharing mode, CPU execute multiple jobs. So many users can share the system simultaneously in time sharing operating systems. Next comes parallel systems. Parallel system means multi-processor systems with more than one CPU in close communication. When we have more than one processor, then these are called multi-processor systems or parallel systems. In this type of systems, each processor runs an identical copy of the operating system. हर प्रोसेसर के पास identical copy operating system थी. Many processors can run at once without performance deterioration. So these processors, they can be run at the same time without any problem. Advantages of parallel system is increased throughput with more processors. As we have no more processors, so more processes can be run at the same time. So naturally, output will be increased. Economical, how it is economical, we can share peripherals, storage, memory devices, power, etc. with each other. In multiprocessor systems, systems can share their input output devices, storage devices, so it is more economical. Same devices are shared between the different processors. Increased reliability means if one processor fail, it will not slow down your system, it will not halt the system. The work of that processor is picked by some other processor. As we have more than one processor, so if one processor fails, the other can take the work of that processor. After that, there comes real time systems. Real time systems, they are used as a control device in a dedicated application, such as controlling scientific experiments, medical imaging systems, robots, weapons, and some display systems. Real-time systems are used in systems that are under fixed time constraints or deadlines. When work has to be completed under fixed time limits, then we use the real-time systems. There are two types of real-time systems. One is hard real-time and second one is soft real-time. Hard real-time, in the hard real-time, there is no relaxation of even a millisecond. It should complete a particular job in fixed time limit. For example, robots, if it fails to complete the job in a fixed time second, then the application is said to be failed. But it has to be strictly adhered to the time limits, time constraints given to complete the work. There should be no mismatch or not a delay of even a millisecond to complete the work. And in soft real time system, time constraint is followed out, but not very strictly. There can be a delay of some millisecond in doing the work. And if it fails, it doesn't mean the application is failed, but it means loss of some quality. In soft real time system, there can be a relaxation of completing the work for a delay of some milliseconds also, but in hard real time there is no such relaxation. Example of soft real time systems are Linux, can be used for soft real time systems. Next comes our distributed systems. As the name suggests, we distribute the computation among several processors that are located at different locations. Each processor, it has its local memory. Processors communicate with one another through various communication lines, such as high speed buses or telephone lines. Processors, they one processor can be in lab 1, second processor can be in second lab, but these processors, they have their own local memory, but they can communicate with each other through the telephone lines or some communication lines such as high speed buses. It requires, the requirement for distributed system is it requires networking infrastructure for delivering their functionality. Network connectivity is important among the processors, among the PCs that are used in distributed systems. Advantages of distributed systems are we can share the resources with each other, files or documents, they can be shared with each other. Computation speed up, load sharing is there. We can one PC can do the one work, second can do the next work, so load sharing can be there. Reliability is there. Reliability means if one system fails, other can take its work, and there is a communication between processor and processes. Last type of systems are handheld system. Handheld systems are those that can be held in a hand, small devices, digital devices, personal digital assistants, they are called handheld systems. For example, cellular phones or calculators or digital watches, these are the examples of handheld systems. But there are some issues with this handheld system. They have limited memory, slow processors, and small display screens. So this is all about the types of operating system, different types of operating system that we can use. Next, last one is importance of operating system. Why operating system is important? Operating system is important for fast and automatic working. For doing any work, we have to install the operating system, and we install the different softwares that can make our work fast and automatic. Better utilization of system resources. Operating system, it controls all the resources, input output devices, files, memory. So better, it provides the better utilization of system resources. It provides interface between user and hardware. It matches the speed of fast processors and comparatively slow input output devices. As we all know that speed of our processor is fast as compared to the input that we give from input output devices. So synchronization between the fast processor and input output devices, it is also done by the operating system. Otherwise there will be a mismanagement. If we are watching the TV, if voice and there is a mismatch between the voice and the picture we are seeing, then there it it will result in the loss of quality of the data. So synchronization, it is also the important part of the operating system. Management and coordination of activities and sharing of resources of a computer system. All the activities, how to control these activities, how to control the input output devices, all these are, this is done by the operating system. Thank you.